Phases of movement skill learning that affect participation and performance in physical activity. Fitz and Posner were amongst the first psychologists to examine how motor skills in sport were learned. They concluded that there are 3 stages to the learning of motor skills. The first stage of learning is known as the cognitive phase, and this is where the performer tries to form a mental picture of the skill. During this initial phase, the learner is thinking about the skill in order to formulate a mental picture of the whole plan or motor program involving all the linking subroutines. This stage may occur directly after demonstration, and although no physical action is taking place, the learner is immersed fully in the process of mental rehearsal. The second or practice stage of learning is known as the associative stage, and this is where mistakes are reduced and performance becomes more consistent. Performers may remain in this phase for many years and some never progress. During this stage, progress takes place as the learner begins to eliminate mistakes. The timing of the action improves as the performer learns to attend only to specific and relevant cues. Demonstration and mental rehearsal and positive reinforcement are vital at this stage if learning is to continue. Most importantly, the learner will begin to make use of internal feedback. The feel of successful execution will enhance learning and improve the fluency and consistency of the action. The third and final phase of learning is the autonomous stage. This is when skills can be formed with little conscious thought, allowing the performer to focus on things such as tactics. This is the phase of expertise and is a stage in which the skill becomes more automatic. The performer can now execute the skill with the minimum of conscious thought, and concentration can be directed to peripheral factors in the environment. The teacher can now focus on the fine detail of the skill and make use of specific and negative feedback to ensure perfection. In order to guarantee that the performer remains at the autonomous stage of learning, it will be necessary to return to the associative or even the cognitive stage. Also, because the skill has become so well learned, overlearned or grooved, it is relegated to the status of subroutine and becomes part of a new program. The implication for the teacher is that the new learning can take place to incorporate the previous skill. An example of a performer in a cognitive stage is in rugby, a performer being shown a demonstration by a coach of how to pass. The performer will not complete any physical movement but will be rehearsing the movement in their head, creating a mental picture. An example of a performer in the associative stage is a rugby player practicing passing. It isn't totally learned and fluent and is not automatic, so it's not in the autonomous stage, but they are beginning to use intrinsic feedback so they can correct any mistakes themselves without the use of extrinsic feedback. An example of the autonomous stage is a player who can perform a pass without even thinking about it and begin to use that skill in moves that contribute to the team in order to score a try.